Everyone's talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, but most people have no idea what they actually are or how they work. No jargon, no assuming you already know things. By the end of this video, you'll go from a total crypto noob to actually getting it. Let's go. At its core, cryptocurrency is 100% virtual money, secured by a technology called cryptography. That just means it's protected using complex codes, similar to how your online banking password protects your account. It looks like a coin in logos and apps, but it has no physical form at all. Think of it less like a coin in your pocket and more like the number you see in your banking app. Except instead of a bank keeping track of that number, a global network of computers does. To understand why crypto matters, let's rewind through the history of money. It'll only take a minute, and it makes everything else click. In the early days, if I wanted your horse, I'd have to trade you something, like my cat. Sounds simple, but imagine trying to buy your groceries this way. If the store didn't want a cat that week, no deal. That's the problem bartering has. So people moved to coins made of precious metals. A pound was literally a pound of silver, something everyone agreed had value. Later, paper money took over, basically just a government backed receipt saying this piece of paper is worth something, which is a lot easier to carry than a pound of silver. Today, most of our money is already digital. When your paycheck lands, no cash physically moves. It's just a number updating on a bank's spreadsheet. Cryptocurrency is simply the next stage of that same story, the most convenient, most direct era of exchange we've ever had. Here's the biggest difference between crypto and the money sitting in your bank account: decentralization. It's a big word, but the idea is simple. Normally, when you send money to a friend, it doesn't go directly to them. A bank sits in the middle, checks the transaction, and updates its own private ledger. You're trusting that one company to get it right and keep it safe. With cryptocurrency, there's no single company or government in charge. Instead, it's public payment infrastructure that belongs to everyone and is owned by no one. Think of it like the internet. No single company owns the internet, but millions of people use it every day. Crypto works the same way, except for money. So, if there's no bank keeping track, how does anyone know who has what? This is where blockchain comes in, and it's actually way simpler than the name makes it sound. Imagine a guy named Bob has a notebook where every transaction gets written down, like a shared receipt book. But Bob doesn't write every transaction on the same page forever. Say, I send you $100, then you send someone else $50. Hundreds, even thousands of these entries pile up until a page fills up. Once it's full, Bob seals that page, gives it a unique code, kind of like a fingerprint for that page, and starts a fresh page. Each one of these sealed pages is called a block. Here's the clever part: every new block includes the previous block's unique code written right at the start of the page. That's how blocks link together like a chain, which is literally why it's called blockchain. Picture a paper chain where each link is stapled to the one before it. Because of that link, if anyone tries to sneak back and change a number on an old block, that block's fingerprint instantly changes too, which breaks its staple to the next block. And the whole chain visibly shows something's wrong. That's what makes old blocks basically impossible to quietly edit. And here's the real safety net: everyone in the network has an identical copy of this entire notebook. Thousands of people, all holding the same copies at the same time. If I try to hack my copy and change it to say I have $1 million, the network compares my page against thousands of other matching copies. When almost all of them disagree with me, my version just gets thrown out. That's what makes the system so hard to cheat. You'd need to fool thousands of copies at once, not just one. You've probably heard the term crypto mining. And no, nobody's underground with a pickaxe. Miners are people running powerful computers to solve incredibly difficult math puzzles. Here's what that puzzle actually is: it's like guessing the correct combination to a lock. There's no way to logically figure out the answer. Computers have to try millions of random numbers, one after another, until they land on the right one. So, thousands of miners around the world are all racing to solve the same puzzle at the same time. Whoever finds the correct answer first gets to verify a block of pending transactions and add it to the chain. Every other miner then checks that block and confirms it's valid. As a reward for that work and the electricity it costs, the network pays the winning miner in brand new Bitcoin. That's literally the only way new cryptocurrency enters the world. No government printing it, just computers earning it. Bitcoin was the very first cryptocurrency, created in 2009 by a mysterious figure named Satoshi Nakamoto, and to this day, nobody knows who that actually is. Bitcoin also has a hard cap. Only 21 million will ever exist, ever. That built in scarcity is exactly why people call it digital gold. Like gold, there's only so much of it to go around. Any crypto that isn't Bitcoin gets called an altcoin, alternative coin. Ethereum, Solana, all of them technically count. But not all altcoins are just digital cash. Ethereum works more like an operating system. Think Windows or iOS on your computer that lets developers build apps, games, and marketplaces on top of it. When you buy Ethereum, you're not just buying digital money, you're buying a stake in an entire digital ecosystem, sometimes called Web3, where users actually own the networks they use instead of companies like Google or Facebook owning everything for you. In crypto, you are your own bank, which is powerful, but also means there's nobody to bail you out if something goes wrong. You store your coins in a digital wallet, which has two keys. Your public key is like your bank account number, totally safe to share with anyone who needs to send you money. Your private key is like your ATM PIN, except way more important, something you never ever share with anyone for any reason. When you create a wallet, you're given a 12 or 24 word seed phrase. Think of this as the master backup password. It's the only way to recover your private key if you ever lose access to your device. Write it down on paper and keep it somewhere safe, like a fireproof box. Never take a screenshot of it on your phone. If your phone gets hacked, that screenshot is the first thing a hacker looks for. Here's the big warning: if you lose your private key or seed phrase, your money is gone forever. There's no forgot password button, no customer service to call. One guy accidentally threw away a hard drive holding 8,000 Bitcoin, worth hundreds of millions of dollars today, and he's still searching a landfill for it. It's not all to the moon. Crypto has real downsides. Volatility. Prices can swing 20 to 30% in a single day of one tweet or one headline. No safety net. Send money to the wrong address or a scammer and it's gone. There's no customer support to call, no reversing it. Scams, fake websites, fake apps, and FOMO tactics trick people into losing their savings constantly. An environmental impact. Mining consumes as much electricity as some entire countries use. Cryptocurrency might be one of the biggest breakthroughs since the internet itself, but it's still very early. So if you do your research, stay safe, and never put in more than you can afford to lose. Thanks for sticking with me through all of that. If this helped make sense of the madness, smash that like button and subscribe. Next week, we go deeper into wallets, stablecoins, and NFTs.